What if I told you Johnny Depp has a secret revenge list, and it's shaking Hollywood to its core? Sounds dramatic, right? Almost like a plot straight out of a blockbuster. But here's the twist, this isn't a movie. This is real life. And the story behind it might just make you rethink what loyalty really means when the spotlight gets too bright. Think about it for a second. Have you ever been through something tough, something that really tested you, and realized the people you thought would stand by your side, didn't? Maybe they disappeared. Maybe they stayed silent. Or worse, maybe they joined the crowd that doubted you. That feeling? That sting of betrayal? That's exactly what Johnny Depp went through. And that's why this story hits so hard. Because even though Johnny is one of the biggest stars in the world, when his life took a dark turn, not everyone stood by him. Some people turned away. Some even turned against him. And that's where this so-called revenge list was born. Now, don't get me wrong. This isn't about anger or some Hollywood version of payback. It's about memory. It's about keeping track of who was really there when things got messy, and who decided it was safer to step away. And let's be honest, don't we all do that in our own lives, even if it's just in our heads? We remember the people who checked in on us when things got rough. And we definitely remember the ones who vanished when we needed them most. So let's walk through how this list came to be, why it matters, and who's on it. Because once you see the full picture, you'll understand why this simple idea, keeping track of loyalty, has Hollywood buzzing right now. It all starts with betrayal. When Johnny Depp's career and personal life were under fire, he wasn't just fighting one battle. He was fighting on multiple fronts: public opinion, legal fights, career setbacks. And in those moments, you expect your friends, your colleagues, your allies to stand tall beside you. But that didn't always happen. Some of the very people he trusted most, the ones he thought would be there without question, weren't there at all. Imagine that. Imagine being one of the most recognizable actors in the world and still realizing you're completely alone in certain rooms. That's a tough pill to swallow. And it's exactly the kind of moment that plants the seed for a list like this. Because when trust breaks, it doesn't just fade, it leaves a mark. But here's where the story gets interesting. While some people walked away, others stayed. They stood up for Johnny when it wasn't easy, when it wasn't popular, when it could have cost them opportunities too. And that's powerful. It's like Hollywood had this giant loyalty test, and everyone revealed their true colors. Some failed. Some passed with flying colors. And Johnny? He remembered every single one. Now, the question is, who's on this list? We don't have every name, but the whispers are there. Big names. Famous collaborators. People who once called Johnny a friend. And the truth is, once you land on Johnny's bad side, it's not easy to come back. Because when trust is gone, especially in an industry built on image and relationships, rebuilding it is almost impossible. And this isn't just gossip. This actually matters. In Hollywood, reputation is currency. It's like the air you breathe. If word spreads that Johnny Depp doesn't trust you, that he feels betrayed by you, that shadow follows you everywhere. And now that Johnny is making a comeback, that list carries even more weight. Suddenly, being in his good graces, or being cut out completely, can shape careers in ways most of us can't even imagine. But here's something most people overlook: this list isn't just about revenge. It's also about loyalty. Because for every person who turned their back on Johnny, there's another person who stood firm. And those are the names that matter most. Those are the people who will be part of his story going forward. And think about this, doesn't that reflect real life too? When you go through tough times, don't you notice the same thing? Some people disappear, and others step up in ways you never expected. Johnny's just living that experience on a global stage, with the whole world watching. Now, here's where it gets even more fascinating. Hollywood isn't just about talent. It's about alliances. It's about who you know, who trusts you, and who's willing to go to bat for you. Picture it like high school, but instead of cliques and lunch tables, you've got red carpets and multi-million-dollar movies. One wrong move, one wrong word, and suddenly, you're out of the in crowd. And trust me, nobody wants to be on the outside looking in. That's why Johnny's list matters. Because it's not just personal, it's strategic. He's not just remembering betrayals out of spite. He's building a circle of loyalty for the future. He knows that the people who stayed by him when things were at their worst are the people he can trust when things are at their best. That's not revenge, that's wisdom. And if you think about it, isn't that the smart move? Why waste energy chasing people who didn't have your back? Why not double down on the ones who did? That's exactly what Johnny's doing. He's not just surviving, he's reshaping his future, one loyal relationship at a time. Now, here's the part that keeps Hollywood buzzing. Who exactly made the cut, and who didn't? Those details may never be fully public. But the rumors alone are enough to shake things up. Because when people start whispering about who's on Johnny Depp's bad side, everyone gets nervous. Everyone wonders where they stand. And in an industry built on image, that fear alone can be powerful. But let me pause here and ask you something. If you were in Johnny's shoes, what would you do? Would you keep a list of everyone who turned on you, or would you let it go and move on? It's easy to say we just forgive and forget, but when the stakes are this high, would you really? And that's why this story resonates. Because it's not just about Johnny Depp. It's about all of us. It's about loyalty, trust, betrayal, and resilience. It's about remembering who stood beside you when the world seemed against you. And it's about building your future with those people in mind. So here's where we land. Johnny Depp's revenge list isn't just a Hollywood rumor. It's a mirror. It shows us what happens when life tests us, when people reveal their true selves, and when we're forced to decide who belongs in our story going forward. And let's be honest, don't we all have our own version of that list? Maybe it's not written down. Maybe it's not talked about out loud. But deep down, we all know who we trust, and who we never will again. So, what do you think? If you were in Johnny Depp's position, would you hold on to those names? Would you use them as a guide for the future? Or would you wipe the slate clean and start fresh? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. And if this story opened your eyes, make sure to check out some of the other videos we've got on Johnny's untold journey. There's so much more happening behind the scenes, and once you dive in, you'll never see Hollywood the same way again. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss what's coming next. Because in Hollywood and in life, one thing never changes: loyalty is everything.